Tail of the tape now for the third meeting between Manny Pacquiao and Erik Moralez. An old 30, so many wars, so many big rounds, so much intensity in his career. An inch-and-a-half height advantage for Morales. An arm length unofficially, while Pacquiao has put on 15 pounds, will enter the ring with a functional weight advantage against Morales. Punch stat numbers from
first fight. As you can see, Pacquiao threw many more punches, but Morales landed many more punches. The second fight, Pacquiao again threw more punches.
The Manny Pacquiao Erik Morales fight is scheduled for headbutt. We go to the scorecards after 4 rounds have been completed, and you cannot be saved by the bell at any round.
To try to find which fighters in the history of the sport had 2 trilogies that might match the intensity of what Morales has experienced against Marco Antonio Barrera, and now what kind of fighters did we find?
Well, you have his trilogies with Norton and Frazier among elite. You got to go way back to Sugar Ray Robinson, who had 3 trilogy pluses. Very, very unusual what Morales has accomplished. He says it's worn him down.
Had a line in a song called Visions of Johanna. The ghost of electricity howls in the bones of her face. Emmanuel, when the ghost of electricity howls in the bones of Erik Morales' face, normally that means he's ready to fight. But you say perhaps he has crashed and burned to make weight too many times.
Yeah, you know, what bothers me a lot is the last fight when he lost to Pacquiao, the way that he went reminiscent of the way that Arturo Gatti did when he fought Bellamir, which was like, I don't know if he can rebound from that. And, you know, he made the weight, but I don't know if that's the proper weight for him at this age.
We'll see how he fights. He himself says, Manny Pacquiao didn't hurt. I simply ran out of gas because I was not properly conditioned for that fight. I was not working with my normal trainer, my father. I was with someone else. I've brought my father back, and this will be the old Erik Morales. That's Eric's case. Astonishing stats in Erik Morales' career. He's had 17 fights against, he has gone 8 or more rounds. Not many fighters have worked harder. 15 fights since he became a star here in the United States. 15 wins by knockout. The only loss in those 19 fights was the decision loss to Erik Morales the first time around. Pacquiao already has knockout wins over both of the great Mexican featherweights of the era, Morales and Barrera. Now can he match Marco Antonio in a trilogy with Morales? All the ring wars in the ring. For Pacquiao, the problem has been outside the ring distraction.
Well, now that you mentioned it, Jim, Pacquiao's representatives have returned in bonuses, which Golden Boy had signed him. So there's going to be a not accepted by Golden Boy. There'll be a royal battle in the court. He not has a band coming behind him, but is the
much like Oscar De La Hoya in the Philippines, his most recent album sold 50 was from that particular record. Now let's go to Michael Buffer for official introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, by way of Wynn, Las Vegas, Bob Arum's Top Rank Incorporated is proud to present the grand finale, the great trilogies in boxing history, sponsored by PokerStars.Budweiser. This bout is dedicated to the memory of a true friend of boxing. He was president of the European Boxing Union and for 30 years, executive vice president of the WBC. Rest in peace, Ruben Martinez. This is the main event of the evening. 12 for the WBC International Super Featherweight Championship. Sanctioned by the Nevada Sir Keith Kaiser, World Boxing Council President Jose Sulaiman. The judges scoring this bout are Guido Cavalieri, Dwayne Ford. And now, for the thousands in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to Fighting out of the 129 pounds, 4 defeats. He is the former super bantamweight world champion and former super featherweight champion of the world. Zona Norte, Tijuana, Mexico. Erik, el terrible Red corner, wearing white with flame. Official weight, also 129 pounds. His professional record, 42 victories, including 30 from General Santos City, Philippines. Former super flyweight WBC International Super Pac-Man.
Super featherweight time. You received your instructions in the dressing room. Below this point, it's going to be called low. Area model bajo. With that said, I want you to obey my commands. Protect yourself. Touch on it now. Good luck to both of you. Token los. Buena suerte.
The women and children, if any of them are...
I don't know about you, Larry, but the kind of women I know love this stuff. Round one begins. Will it be a boxing? Will it be a little of both?
Morales looking like he wants to engage. Pacquiao just figuring out what he's doing.
Pacquiao's belief is that Erik Morales wants to come and try to get. Pacquiao believes that Morales doesn't believe in his gas tank, doesn't think he can go down. So Manny thinks that Morales is going to try to impose. But tonight, unofficial weights, Manny's...
You know, the fact that Morales wanted to use the puncher's gloves also, to me at least, normally he would be asking for the winning, but he wanted to go with the gloves that Pacquiao wanted. The power punch this fight early.
Indeed, there's been quite a first fight. In the very first fight, Erik Morales had a contract. Gloves, they are called promoted. In the second, they wanted Morales wore gloves and knocked. Now in the third fight, both fighters choose to wear the puncher's glove. Reyes.
Pacquiao to test Morales's not only his defense, but
to wait, as I said earlier. And going down the stretch, I think that may be a big factor too, as well as the hard fights that he's had.
And if Pacquiao thought Morales was coming to try to get him early, Erik has shown none of it, as he nearly takes a right hook from Manny Pacquiao, who is so much better with his right hand.
Manny consistently beating Morales to the punch so far.
And Morales keeps Manny back. And Morales again countering properly upstairs and on their feet.
You know, technically, he often gets out of position often with his punches and does a lot of things awkward and unorthodox, but still there's so much fight in him. In this case here, I just don't think, looking at his legs doesn't seem to be that coordinated.
Round.
May have been a one-up round, but a crowd about. And when we go to...
Dale plexo si tira en forma de gancho abajo. Párate al centro. You have to see after gloves from me, okay, son? Yeah. You use your jab and get off him, okay?
Right here you see Pacquiao, jab hook or whatever you want to call it, that Morales just didn't see.
At a time, Pacquiao only had the left stuff. He's got the right stuff behind it now.
That was one of the big change. CompuBox numbers in round one. Morales 10 out of 41. Pacquiao with a 10-5 edge in power connects. You saw that Judge Harold Letterman, our unofficial score, gave the... Morales, who landed some good right hands in the first fight, hands there, but the punches from his own. Packed house, and of course, ardent, spirited Mexican and Mexican-American Morales rooters sitting next to and among ardent spirit
fans like Pacquiao themselves too, because of his style of fight and being so aggressive.
And because of the Spanish-speaking tradition of the Filipino archipelago, or the Philippine archipelago. Another body shot by Pacquiao. Throws his right hand. You can see why Freddie Roach asks his fighter to stay away from the ropes and in the center of the ring. Good jab by Morales, quickly blocked. right and a left. And another right hook. The sheer aggression of Manny Pacquiao. Difficult for ever.
Strong and so sturdy as compared to Morales. Even though Morales
down on a Pacquiao right hand.
left.
And
He got overexcited, overextended himself, and left.
Got his stamina to hold over Pacquiao.
That was the fourth time in his knockdown. Two of them were in the last fight against Pacquiao, and they led ultimately to the end of the fight. The first knockdown of Morales' career was a glove-touching brush with the canvas against Marco Antonio, their first fight. So he's never exactly been thunderously put on ever fought.
That's because of how quick Pacquiao's fists are, and he doesn't see the...
Pacquiao again landing, chases him and lands a right. They trade punches at the rope. 8 punches.
A 2-to-1 favorite in this fight, so far justifying the odds.
But Morales all the way until this fight is over with.
Don't just stand in front of him. Keep his distance.
Manny punches. Sometimes it's hard to isolate the knockdown punch, Emmanuel. Let's take a look.
Here you see Morales coming in with an attack, but Pacquiao just shoots a punch and then knocks him down. A lot of was balanced.
Hit him with both the right and go down. And two, and you see the flurry with which they ended the round. Fighting back after he had been down in the round.
Always wants to get the last punch. The great wanting to have the last punch.
80 punches in the second round, but Manny Pacquiao throwing only 55, landed 24, 3 more than Morales. So Pacquiao a little more say that. Normally he's just in the ring.
Pacquiao now, and he did early ago. I think him and Fede Rocha worked a lot. His jab is a lot jab.
Pacquiao landed a right hand upstairs. Erik Moroles. Pacquiao much more focused on landing his jab in this fight than was the case in the first 2 fights. Solid left hand, backs Morales up. Crowd loves it. And unlike some punchers, Manny does have head movement.
I'm proud of the way he punched to the body and then comes up on top.
Listen, not afraid to fight with one of the most dangerous punchers in the sport.
Erik Morales likes to. Right hook, the punch that.
Hard right hand, stunned Morales. Slightly staggered after that last left hand. And down he goes. Solid left hand shot by Pacquiao, who did not like Morales saying, okay, I'll hurt him this time.
But he's a fighter. He's going to fight still. He's not going to try to run out of fence.
What is the referee?
He said to go back to the neutral corner.
Hard to imagine how Morales can last long against.
He's going to be fighting all the way down. He's not going to back up.
That's by Morales. Yes. Right hands, even while on unsteady feet.
And he is hurt.
And he holds on for one of the first. 30s. Punch after punch after punch. And he wants to finish Morales right here. But his legs go again. By Pacquiao against Morales.
He doesn't want to get up.
Morales shakes his head as if to say, I want no more. That is that. Nick Dracula stops the fight. Manny Pacquiao.
I tried my best.
Morales was overwhelmed. Manny Pacquiao goes to another
big draw. I think this unbelievable excitement.
Tremendous excitement.
I expected the fight to go exactly as it went.
Well, you were skeptical all week as to whether Morales could produce the one big effort that so many people thought he would.
He made to wait, but he made to wait, and that's like Ali made to wait for his last fight with Larry Holmes, but it was not to wait to be able to perform on a top level in sports. It's no good for him, in addition to the wars as a strong young fighter.
All right, Manny, let's take a look at, and I'm saying this, Emmanuel Stewart.
Well,
let's take a look at some replays.
Manny's name is, it's just attack, the intensity, the wrong thing for an aging fighter.
It's hard and craft when a guy
two puncher with a straight left. Now he does a right hook, uppercuts, everything.
And knockdown. If the camera angle shows it to you, you will see exactly as Larry Merchant turns into the corner and looks at his father.
Well, that's the same look that I said before that I saw when he went down the last fight, even though he said it wasn't from a punch. And I saw the same thing with Arturo Gatti. And that's Alexis Aguero did it the second fight with Aaron Pryor. The same look. I'm done.
That will bring back to his feet.
The end, comedy, 7 seconds, knockout victory. The gains, still champion, Manny.
Landing 51 of 71 power shots to the scintillating knockout of Morales. Total punches in the fight, Pacquiao landing more than twice as many, throwing about the same number. Morales was brave and wasn't afraid to throw. Look at Pacquiao's connect percentage, 54%. When a giant puncher for the weight like Pacquiao lands 54%. Shots, Manny was effective with the jab tonight, 63%. Larry Merchant stands by with the Philippine.
Jim, you thought he would come after you. Did you also think that if he did, you might end the fight?
Early, you know, he came out early, so I can knock him. I have a chance to knock him out too in the early rounds.
Early fights, you were continually beating him to the punch. Is that true?
Oh yeah, I believe that I'm faster than him and I'm quicker than him, and I think I'm stronger than him. Now,
so after you knocked him down in the first, he's just not the fighter he once was.
he doesn't speak out. Speak my right hook.
Of this part of your career, do you feel that having won 2 of the 3 fights from a great fighter like Morales, that is a very big thing for you?
You know, in my every fight, I love boxing and support us, and also the promo, and also to you. Thank you
All right,
very much.
thank you very much, Manny. I have to ask you some questions. Everybody is anticipating that your next fight would be a big fight against.
I want to discuss about that. You know, I take rest and going back home to celebrate my victory because watching right now and they are celebrating to my victory.
Thank you very much for a great fight.
All right, thank you very much, and I would like to thank to all the president of the Philippines. Thank you for your support, and also Mayor Lito Atienza, and also the SBO. Thank you very much for all your thank you, and Bob Arum also.
Thank you very much, Jim.
You know, the prospect, if anything, he was faster. The head movement was better. His punches were harder. I don't think I've ever seen him look
Straight and left. And if a southpaw can develop a right hook, and even better yet, a right uppercut, he's going to be more effective. But I was impressed with him tonight. But I also, just as much, I expected it to some degree. And I still see a lot of flaws in his style that a rematch with Barrera, I think,
Marquez.
Against. I think those 2 fights are going to be tough fights for him.
Yeah, we'll talk about why those are the 2 obvious fights on the table for Pacquiao, Barrera and Marquez. A lot of people want to see it happen. Neither guy has to be terribly anxious to get at him after tonight. Let's go to Larry Merchant and get the reflections from Erik Morales.
Thank you very much, Jim. Erik, you got yourself in as best shape you could to give your best effort. Is Pacquiao just too young and fast at this stage of your career?
Te pusiste en la mejor condición que pudiste para hacerlo mejor. Pacquiao es demasiado hoy en día.
Es un gran trabajo físico, técnico. Me cuidé mucho tiempo. Di por debajo del peso. Hice todo lo que tenía que hacer para ganar. Creo que Pacquiao es un peleador fuerte, rápido. Y bueno, yo creo.
My best. I had the physical training, I had the mental training, all the preparation, everything that I could do to win. Pacquiao is just too much.
What were you thinking at that time?
Cuando caíste la última vez, miraste a la esquina, estabas mirando a tu papá pidiendo.
No, ellos me decían que me levantara y quisiera. Ya, no tenía caso. Yo creo que hay veces que hay que saber decir adiós.
Tonight.
Do you know whether you...
Desde este momento en adelante, si continuarías peleando o qué hay?
Yo creo que tendré que pensarlo. Creo que es una muy bonita noche para decir adiós también.
There's a lot of good fans here about it. It was a night that just wasn't to be.
You were skeptical that all the hard fights you've had over the years have taken a toll on you. Do you think that is true now?
Te habían agotado un poco. ¿Qué piensas ahora?
No creo. Simplemente creo que ha pasado el tiempo. Pacquiao es un peleador rápido, fuerte. Tiene otra clase de características que los demás no tenían. Y bueno, el tiempo ha pasado. He hecho una carrera impresionante, buena. con el apoyo. Yo empecé en top rank.
I had a long, illustrious career. I've done it all, and with the help of Bob Arum, Top Rank, if they still want to promote it, but...
Gusto llenar de buenas noches a la gente de peleas grandes.
And it was always a pleasure on my part to thrill all the people with good fights. Thank you.
Jim,